Today I'm going to give you an intro to inequalities and teach you how to graph one variable inequalities. An inequality is a comparison between two expressions. So I have four inequality signs. The first one here is a less than sign. You might say 2 is less than 5, just like that. So it points to the smaller number and its open end is to the larger number. All right, here comes another one. This one, do you notice it just has this extra little piece right here? That means equals to. And so in this case, I could say that 2 is less than 5, less than or equal to 5. I could also say that 5 is less than or equal to 5 because it does equal 5. The next one is the greater than sign. In this case, I would say 5 is greater than 2. And again, the open end of that sign is to the big number. The pointy end is to the smaller number. Finally, I have the greater than or equal to sign. And again, it has that little extra piece at the end, at the bottom of it. So I can say 5 is greater than or equal to 2, but I can also say that 5 is greater than or equal to itself. All right. When I say that an inequality is a comparison of two expressions, obviously this is an expression. But I can also say that 2 plus 1 is less than 5 plus 9. Here's an expression, here's an expression. As we get into this chapter, you're going to have things like x plus 1 is less than 10 or something like that. And again, it's just a comparison of two different expressions. All right, so how do I graph inequalities? Well, let's start with the first one. N is less than 4. And so every number that I am going to highlight on this number chart is going to be less than 4. But I've got to start with 4. Now, can N equal 4? No. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this open circle that says this is where I'm starting, but because it's open, it cannot equal 4. And then I'm going to start shading every number that is less than 4. Now, do you want to keep doing all these dots? Nah. So what we're going to do is we're just going to draw it till we get to the arrow. And then we're going to put the arrow at the end that says it keeps going. Every number in the number line to the left is going to be less than 4. All right, let's do the next one. N is less than or equal to negative 2. Well, this time, obviously we're starting at the negative 2, but N can equal negative 2, so I'm going to shade that in. We call that a closed circle. And then I'm going to shade all the numbers that are less than negative 2. And remember, if something's less than, it's going to the left on the number line. Left, right, do you know your lefts and rights? This is left, and this is the right. All right, let's go on to the next one. N is greater than 1, so I call that my target number 1. So I'm going to put a circle here. Now, does N equal 1? Nope, don't have that equal sign. But now I'm going to do numbers that are greater than 1, like 2 and 3 and 4 and 6 and 7. Well, why don't we just do them all? Like that. And again, don't forget your arrow at the end. And then finally, N is greater than or equal to negative 7. So negative 7 is my target number. And since N can equal it, I'm going to shade this in. And then again, remember, greater than is going to the right, like this. All right, do you think you got it? Well, I'm going to flip things up on you on the next one. What do you notice about all four of these? Well, I put the X on the right-hand side. Uh-oh. Well, all you have to do is you have to read from the letter to the number. And so in this first one, it is X is greater than 6. So I'm going to find the X. Can it equal 6? No. But it says X is greater than 6. Bam. You can look at it like this. It says 6 is less than X. So 6 is my smallest number. And everything else bigger than 6 gets shaded. All right, let's look at the next one. Negative 1 is less than or equal to X. But I'm going to read it from the X to the negative 1. X is greater than or equal to negative 1. So I'm going to put my circle here. I'm going to fill it in because it has that equal part. X is greater than. Remember, I'm shading everything that X could be. All those numbers bigger than negative 1. All right, keep going. Next one. Again, read from the letter to the number. X is less than 3. All right, so where's my 3? Right here. And then I'm doing numbers that are less than 3. So that's to the left. Do I shade in my circle? Nope, because I don't have that equal sign. All righty. One last one. Read it from the letter. X is less than or equal to -5. And so I'm going to find the -5, and I am going to fill it in because it can equal it. It says X is less than, so I'm going to the left. And there you go. The last thing I want to do is teach you how to write inequalities from graphs. And so we're going to start with the first one. I'm going to put an X and I'm going to put a 2. Now I have to put a sign between those. So look at this. Everything after the 2 is being highlighted. Numbers that are bigger than 2 are being highlighted. So that's X. So X is greater than 2. All right, let's look at the next one. I'm going to put my X, I'm going to put my -3, and then I'm going to look at the graph. Now here, all the numbers are being shaded to the left. That means they're less than -3. So X is less than -3. And again, remember, everything shaded is what X represents. How about these? Well, I'm going to have an X, I'm going to have a -7, and then I'm going to look at the graph and go, oh, everything is getting bigger. And so X has to be greater than. But because it's a closed dot, X can also equal -7. All right, one last one. I have an X, I have a 0, and it looks like everything is being shaded before the 0, less than 0. So all that is less than, but it can equal 0 because of that closed dot. All right, now it's your turn to go practice. Go have some fun.